In a valley known for award-winning wines, where the wisteria drape over stone columns and cherry blossoms soak up the afternoon sun, there's a place some people call Mayberry, but locals call it Yountville, even though it was named after George Yount, its first American settler in the 1800s. But whether you call it Yountville or Yountville, the mayor doesn't really mind, so long as you show up for supper.
If you're looking to spend a weekend with friends and neighbors and really just come up and have a time where you can relax and really walk and just really enjoy yourself, Yountville's the place to do it.
And in the heart of Napa Valley, Yountville is one of the few places where you can actually walk from one end of town to the other and get a history lesson at every stop. So there's actually some bullet holes behind this wall here from someone who actually unloaded a gun in this bar.
That's correct.
When it was a bar.
And the bullets went through and went into the library and stuck in some books back there.
Now that was some time ago. The library is now gone, but the French antiques live on in George's shop. Just around the corner from George, 3 generations of Reyes family still do a shave and a haircut like you remember.
Hey, your hair's looking good now.
Really?
Yeah.
And looks can be deceiving. Beyond the yawn in Yountville, this is no sleepy little town. Thousands of people from all over descend on Yountville throughout the year for the weather, the festivals, the quality of life, featuring the best in food and wine in a rural setting that really never seems to lose its charm. So what are you guys doing out in Yountville?
It's a beautiful day. What's not to do in Yountville? We're going to do some shopping, look around.
Home to a little over 3,000 people, this is where it all started. You see, without Yountville, there would be no Napa Valley. And without Napa Valley, there would be none of this. But when you're ready to visit Yountville's coziest wineries, do so in style. Towner Roads will take you to the front door of the Goose Cross Cellars, where acres of vineyards wrap around a very busy tasting room.
One of the only areas that actually have a marine deposit in the soil, so that affects our wine. It kind of affects what you're getting out of the bottle.
Producing an assortment of wines, but mostly Chardonnay, Goose Cross is a favorite on local wine lists. 25 years of winemaking goes into the Bell cellars. Raised on a wine farm in South Africa, Anthony Bell creates a masterful Cabernet, partly because Yountville supplies the perfect conditions.
The microclimate is such that we're close enough to the bay, we get some really nice cool breezes and some nice fog, which gives us really good acidity in the wines and really good fruit and very bright colors.
But you don't have to go at wine tasting alone. Tours can be arranged through one of the finest hotels in the area, complete with its own vineyard, and named one of the top 500 hotels in the world, the Villaggio Inn and Spa.
We're here in what we call the Epicurean destination of Napa Valley. You've got some of the greatest restaurants in the world right here in your walking distance, all to those restaurants.
Designed after the gardens and villas of Rome and Tuscany, the Villaggio captures the essence of the old world right down to the impressive hand-painted frescoes. Now the theme even extends to a whimsical vignette of ruins with healing waters throughout the property. But the real treasure lies in the guest rooms.
We call it a Tuscan carpet picnic, and what you have is a Florentine hearth table, and it brings in the traditions of Italy, where a couple would sit by a raging fire and have a wonderful meal together and share that romantic experience.
And one you won't likely forget. So if you find yourself just a few miles out of Napa, on the corner of, say, Yount and Mount, it could actually be pronounced Yount and Mont. But if that's all too confusing, well, just have some more wine. This is where it all started. 150 years ago, the first grapevine planted in what has become one of the most treasured places in California. Yountville is a town like no other. Top story, vine buds sprouting in the vineyards. Biggest crime, overindulgence.
It was fabulous. It's from Gordon's.
And Gordon's is a great place to start your day in a town that cherishes its eateries.
People love our breakfast, and we've been voted best breakfast in the Valley for 4 years in a row now. We know all our customers. We're a very local place. We remember what people have, and we always call people by their names. There'll never be a number here.
That is, if you don't mind being number one at Gordon's. Your breakfast options continue downtown. This French and Italian marketplace called Cucina is part of a 23-acre estate. A big seller at Cucina is the Eggs Benedict with crab, sautéed spinach, and home fries. But if you're ready to kick your hunger up into high gear, Jeff Steen, owner of Pacific Blues, keeps them coming with a handshake and a philosophy.
I call it the non-$100 meal, non-reservation place. Most of all, it's a
place to come and hang out and be a part of Yountville.
Bring your appetite, not your necktie. This is a place where both beer and babies can meet for dinner. Try the mahi mahi with apple salsa and truffle coal cake. Down the street at Piatti, they know what makes Yountville the perfect place for Italian cuisine.
We're in the beautiful Napa Valley here, and we get a wonderful balance between 5 or 6 great world-class restaurants, local produce, and of course the wine.
Not to mention the magic that happens when you mix shrimp butter, tomatoes, fish stock, parsley, and prawns. Little bite.
Kind of be like on the finger food, you know.
I'm going to eat this in a bad way, okay? Forgive me for my manners there.
Actually, that was a nice combination like that.
That worked. How you? What's most surprising about Yountville is the nightlife. You heard right, there are still places open to eat and drink late into the evening. Compadres is a place where Mexican dishes get an extra kick from the wall of flame, and to wash it down,
we got the best margaritas in Napa Valley right here. My favorite's a Top Shelf. It's made with Milagro tequila. We have with Cointreau, our own special sweet and sour blend, Flot de Grand Marnier. You guys ought to try one before you leave.
You also might need to try Hurley's, which is becoming the toast of the late night crowd, but don't miss the menu.
It's just kind of a different cuisine, little Mediterranean flair and some wine country, easygoing menu. And I think, you know, my staff as well as the whole atmosphere is just relax, have some fun, great food, great wine, and that's what we try and bring every day.
If you plan to stay out after midnight, Pancha's is the small neighborhood bar everyone seems to love, where you can shoot some pool and be part of a young crowd. But just when you think it's time to call it a night. I noticed the bakery's open late, too.
The bread is actually, yeah, you can right now. Come on. Let's get some.
You want to go get some bakery bread?
Let's go.
Come on. Come on. Take a look at that beautiful bread. Now, you can smell that. Is this the best around?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
And don't be afraid to load up on the carbs. The next day, you can burn them all off with one of Jeff Cassidy's golf tips on Yountville's back nine, or back to the Villaggio for a spa treatment that will keep you fit. So when you see the mayor taking pictures of young honeymooners at the Lavender Inn, or the lady in grapes says hello, you know you've made it to the right place. A vine that turned into a vineyard and then into a town that George Yount called his own.